It's hoodie season in the Bay Area. There's snow on the hills. It's crazy out there. But Howard Terminal is also on ice. So here's what I think is happening in Oakland with the A's. The A's have negotiated this deal with the city as far as they possibly can. They know the terms. They know what the deal is. They got the port priority area use removed. They got the EIR certified. At this point, they've done as much as they possibly can, and there's still a shortfall. The city's coming up with as much as they can to fix that shortfall, but I think what's going to eventually have to happen is the A's are going to have to either commit to Oakland and help pay that offsite infrastructure gap, which is over $300 million. It's no small chunk of change, but if you really think about it, the Giants offered $360 million for Carlos Correa this offseason. People are offering over $400 million for Aaron Judge. Major League Baseball teams are spending that amount of money on one player. This amount of money will solidify the A's future in the Bay Area for over 50 years. It's worth it. So the question remains, will John Fisher pony up the money to help bridge that gap? Can the city find more grants to help build that gap? Now, Larry Beal, my companion at ABC 7, caught up with Mayor Sheng Thao yesterday. She said she has still not communicated with MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred.
I've got a few questions regarding the Oakland A's because they've been very quiet lately. You haven't said much about the situation. The only thing we've heard is Commissioner Rob Manfred recently saying he has yet to talk with you about a project that is $6 to $12 billion. Are you going to talk to the commissioner sometime soon? And what is your sense or level of confidence that the A's will remain in Oakland at Howard Terminal?
Well, I continue to want to keep the A's here in our town, but I understand that they've had talks with other cities, but regardless, we want to upgrade our infrastructure to make our city more sustainable and accessible and safer. So I'm going to fight for those funding. And I've been talking directly to the A's, and those have been good conversations. And so this has been a long-standing issue for many years before I became mayor, and we are going to keep working together to find the solutions and forge a path forward.
At least she's confident. She does say she's talking directly with the A's, so what does she even need the commissioner for, right? All he is a mouthpiece for ownership. Here's what I think is happening in Las Vegas, though. I think a few years ago, the A's showed up expecting a grand reception, a warm welcome, a city that is chomping at the bit for another pro sports franchise. They want Major League Baseball, right? But I think what they ended up getting was a lukewarm reception. People weren't bending over backwards to accommodate Major League Baseball and the A's. They weren't going out of their way to offer up money like they did with the Raiders to get the NFL. And I think it's been a tougher road than they expected. I thought they were going to show up on Easy Street. That's not exactly what has happened. So now they've gone all in on lobbyists. They're trying to find public funds. They have 3 sites for a ballpark, but it's just not going as quickly as they would like. So they're putting everything they have into it to find out whether or not Vegas is really a viable option for them. Now, I think it is interesting if you really look at it. The main site they want, the Tropicana site's right there where the MGM Grand is. It's the heart of the Strip. I just don't see why the powerful interests of the MGM Grand and other major casinos would want the A's there, drawing people away from their casinos. The Raiders have been there for a little while now. Maybe they're somewhat of a power broker. Maybe not a huge one, but they're a factor. I don't see why they would want to share entertainment dollars with the A's. The Hughes Corporation owns the AAA ballpark. I don't see why they would want the A's there, completely gobbling up their business and likely sending them right out of town. So I don't think they've really been greeted with the warm welcome they expected, and I think it's been a tougher road than they thought. And here's one issue and one reason why. People in the Bay Area, the East Bay, they're a sleeping giant of a fan base. Because the A's right now, believe it or not, are a 102-loss team. They're projected to be the worst team in baseball. They're projected to have the least spending in baseball. That kind of stuff, and their history of selling off star players, does not excite the fan base. It does not excite the population, and that burns them here in Oakland, and it burns them in Las Vegas as well. Because look at Vegas. The public there, the public are not ready to give up their public funds for a franchise that is one of the least selling, least attended, and frankly, worst teams in baseball right now. They have a grand history. They have a great win-loss record over the last 20 years. But right now, they're not eliciting excitement. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes the A's made in this process, tearing down the team in the midst of trying to secure a stadium deal. They took the cheap way out because they're spending a bunch of money trying to get this done. Millions of dollars on Howard Terminal, probably millions more in Las Vegas. So they chopped the roster. But what that did was it led to the fan base completely turning off, tuning out, and not being interested in the A's. So people in the Bay Area aren't clamoring for A's baseball right now. People in Las Vegas are not clamoring for A's baseball right now. And when you're trying to get a stadium deal done, that does not help. All right, don't forget, like, subscribe, follow me everywhere. We'll keep these updates coming.